Yo, same, but who got the keys to my Beamer? Jack moves, that's how we act when we team up. Hey, y'all.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss The Suicide Squad. Now this movie is from 2021. It's available in theaters and on HBO Max. It stars Idris Elba, John Cena, Viola Davis, Robbie, homegirl who's always playing Harley Quinn. They all here. Now before I get into why this movie was so much better than Suicide Squad, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss all things kick-ass. Hopefully subscribe to see more of me. Let's get into this movie. Now, of course, we have to start with the director. Now, don't shoot me, but I did not know going into this film that this was a James Gunn film, which would explain why as soon as it came on, I liked it so much. Now, if you are unfamiliar with James Gunn, we're talking Guardian of the Galaxy films, Super, films like Slither. He always manages to give you that perfect mixture of action, comedy, really likable characters, really great dialogue, really great jokes. Like, it was so good here. Like, he took everything that I love about the Guardian of the Galaxy franchise and scrubbed it all over that trash ass Suicide Squad, mixed it together, put it back out, and man, was this shit slapping. It was so good the second time around. Now, getting into this movie, I was not excited to see this movie. Coming off of Suicide Squad from 2016, I had no reason to be excited for this film. I absolutely hated that movie at the time. I felt like the runtime was too long. I wasn't invested in any of the characters. I felt like it was a miscast, for Will Smith, and I wasn't interested in anybody. It was the fucking Harley Quinn show, the Viola Davis show. We spent so much time on so many people, jumping from character to character, introduction to goddamn introduction, soundtrack, goddamn songs. It was horrible. I hated it. All the way down to them ruining the Joker. The Joker is my favorite villain, and he gets there and y'all fuck him up. How is that even possible? But no, we get here, and you guys had me at the intro with the Folsom Prison Johnny Cash. I hear the train coming. I love me some Johnny Cash. And then we have Michael Rooker. I love him. Anything that he is in, I'm watching. He's always a good time. And then we get into those introductions. Yet again, sort of in the same frame of the first Suicide Squad film. But it's, tongue-in-cheek. It's really funny. It's really on the nose. This film is in no way taking itself serious. It's the complete opposite of that first shit that we got. And we get our fake out Suicide Squad, which was a great introduction and really hilarious. I love it. You have, these knockoff X-Men X characters, some of them, but a lot of these characters are from the actual DC Comics, and people, that you probably aren't aware of if you don't read comic books and stuff like that. But there was such an attention to detail and put people in there like, the TDK, detachable arms dude, or, the Weasel, and we use them for comedy. And then we bring in Harley Quinn. Now, I loved her here. You can kind of, go overboard. Yes, we love Harley Quinn, but sometimes you just need her in doses. And James Gunn did an awesome job here through, you know, the dialogue, the way it was shot, the introductions, by giving us doses of fucking Harley Quinn, and I loved it. In that first film, we got so much time with her, so much time spent with her, you know, her little origin story and the Joker and that whole thing. Here we get just enough of her to enjoy her and it not be so overbearing. Freaking loved it. Yes, James. Now, speaking of giving us something in doses, thank you so much, Mr. Gunn, for giving us doses of Viola Davis's character. Like, oh my goodness. We spent so much time in that first film trying to, you know, create her as a hard ass, you know, take no prisoners. I'll press this button. I'll take your life. It's nothing. We're tracking you. One wrong move, everybody gonna die. It was so much time spent on Viola Davis and trying to set her up. It was too much. Here, courtesy of the first one, we know who we're dealing with here. Thank you. But even with that, we got, you know, some nuances with her. And it wasn't just, you know, it was that same, I need you to go do it because I said so. It's for the greater of our country. Blah, 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 blah. We got that. But we also got, you know, the team surrounding her, them being so casual with everything and these lives being taken. So casual that they're, you know, they're betting on them, you know, who's going to die first. And they're not taking her as, you're like, well, you're really going to kill him? You're really about to press this button? You was really going to put the daughter in jail? You really going to, like, she really about this? Like, yeah, well, whatever. So who you got? You got the Weasel or you got TDK? Like, that helped her. That helped her so much. Because it's only so much you can say for, stand down, the press. Like, calm down. Like, you got to work real hard to make me not like Viola Davis as an actress in the movie. And I love her here. She does a really good job. Now, unlike the first film, I did not have to work extra hard to try to care about any of our cast here. You know, the first one we had the Pyro dude, you know, we have Harley Quinn, we have, you know, the whole love story with the woman and the heart and the box and, you know, the Rick Flag character who I'm going to talk about because I love what they did with him here. We even get that, you know, rehatch situation with, you know, Bloodsport and Killshot. Now, with Will Smith playing Killshot and, you know, Viola Davis's character, pulling him into, you know, the squad and the team and even getting him interested because, you know, the aspect of what could happen with his daughter or the daughter situation. We get that same type of scenario here for Bloodsport and Idris Elba character. And boy, is it done right. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I don't care either. Awesome. I love what they did with his character here. And they tried so hard to, you know, make him so unlikable and have him, you know, that I don't give a damn sense. You know, I have nothing good left in me to, you know, do what we knew they were going to do, which was, you know, redeem him later. But it works so well here. You know, that whole I'm not a leader. We get Idris, you know, using his British accent. I love when he gets to use his accent because, you know, most of the time when I see him, I just see Stringer. And I have to remember, you know, The Wire was a show and he's actually from over there. But he gets to use it here and he is so good here. He is everything that Will Smith just couldn't be, you know, with the script and everything from that first film. But here, him being our, you know, leader that doesn't really want to be a leader and, you know, tied in with the jokes. James Gunn did an amazing job writing this film and making it funny. It was so fucking funny. Awesome. All the way down, you know, to our supporting cast, like, you know, our Rat Catcher 2. We get some really great moments with her, really great backstory with her. He fits so much into this film. We really, you know, felt sincerity off of her. And you get that bond between her and Bloodsport and, you know, them feeling for each other, even though they come from two different worlds and two different upbringings. And Idris has this hilarious, for the damn rats. But, you know, we have that great arc towards the end of the film. And, you know, with goddamn John Cena as Peacemaker, aka Tidy Whitey's, them playing, you know, who's the better killer, and them having that back and forth, that banter and those jokes. Him, you know, that great twist we get at the end that I didn't see coming of who he was, even though they set the film up so much for us to know that these things were coming. But, you know, we have so many elements of surprise. It was so good. All the way down to our polka dot man. Oh, that whole shtick with him, you know, it's very fucking wacky, even though I think this is an actual DC character. I'm not sure. But his whole thing, you know, with the exploding polka dots and from his POV, every fucking thing moving, looking like his mother. And then, to put some sprinkles on it, we get that R rating that we didn't get in the first film. So much carnage, killing, spilling, guts, headshots, throat slit. It was so good, y'all. Like, all the profanity of it all. Loved it. Like, got a little nudity in there. Like, I love the way that they used the R rating to where we did get things, you know, like a lot of profanity, a lot of killing, a little nudity, a sex scene, but it wasn't vulgar. They didn't go over the top to where, you know, you might feel uncomfortable watching it with, you know, a teen or, you know, what, like, it was so good. Now, not only do we have this really interesting plot, but we managed to throw like 16 villains up in there. Now, not only do we have, you know, Viola Davis doing her Viola Davis, but I'll push this, push the goddamn button. Yeah, push the goddamn button. I'll push this button. You have her whole thing going on, and, you know, for the greater good, the country, her whole self-righteous thing. And then you manage to have, you know, the El Presidente, the sexy dude, his whole plot, the whole, you know, Operation Starfish and that whole thing, the cutest little terror you ever wanted to see. And then you have, you know, our characters like our, you know, person who succeeds the president when he dies, that whole evil thing there. You have the dude, the brain, his whole, such a mysterious, such a weird character. The brain, such a weird character. You don't even know what his motivation is. This whole thing with him and the starfish. All that weird shit going. And then you throw in Peacemaker for a whole, like, yeah, I know I said we was doing this, but yeah, I'm gonna need you to come up off that. I love his whole thing, you know, piece of it. I love how eager fucking Peacemaker was. Like, I'll kill a kid. I'll kill a woman. Yeah, there's only one person on the scene. Yeah, you want me to shoot her? Because I'll shoot her right now. I love, you know, the fact that he's, you know, Peacemaker. I gotta kill a few women and children, old ladies and babies to get that peace. That's what I'm willing to do. I love that there were clues written in to show us that he had his own agenda from the very beginning, but we really didn't get, well, I didn't get it, you know, until the end of the film. You see that, you know, when they're out and, you know, they're trying to be in hiding, he's the first person to kind of try to pressure the group to drink. He, you know, was really not fucking with going to rescue Harley Quinn. Like, he had his own agenda the entire time, and we didn't see it coming. We love a good surprise. Now, speaking of surprises, right around, I don't know, the 30-40 minute mark after I was sitting there waiting because, you know, I had looked at the credits. I was like, where is Sylvester Stallone? They said he was in this movie. I don't read nothing, y'all. I just watch the movies, okay? I'm sitting there waiting, and then something clicked, and I was like, friend. I was like, that is Sylvester Stallone? I was all kind of gagged. I love that James Gunn made it a point too, because while watching him and me not even knowing that this was a James Gunn film prior, he was totally giving me I Am Groot, you know, the big, strong, broody voice. You know, I Am Groot is voiced by Vin Diesel, and, you know, not really knowing, well, not know what Groot is a whole lot smarter than the shark. But him, that whole, like, giving the audience, you know, someone to have compassion for that's, you know, not human, not the smartest thing in the world, kind of insignificant to the plot at some points, but at the end, you know, comes in and really serves a purpose, and we build with them and care about them so much. You know, who doesn't love Groot? And I found myself loving him that much. Sylvester Stallone did an awesome job, you know, with his voice, because I did not hear, hey, you know, yo, Adrian. I didn't hear Rocky Balboa in there. I heard, I have friends. Like, it was so good. He was really good with his performance, even though you didn't actually see him. Now, getting into the climax of the film, I really love what they did with all the characters here, especially Rick Flag. I love what they did with him in general throughout this whole film. it really seemed like, you know, he got pushed into the forefront to be a main character and really have his own plot point. And it wasn't so much wrapped up in him being a love interest or being torn between, you know, what Viola Davis wanted and blah, blah, blah. Him and that really great bond he had with Harley Quinn, and him really being the real life peacemaker. Like, and that's kicking your, I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass and do my job. And that's what he was doing. Really great on-screen presence. Now, watching, I was waiting and I was like, okay, so when are we going to get into those infamous Harley Quinn long track shots where, you know, she's kicking ass and people are coming at her one at a time? Because, you know, we can't go anywhere without that. I love the way they incorporated it here. I love that we did give Harley Quinn her own, you know, kind of side plot story with the president and the whole love thing and her being captured and shooting him. And, them having to rescue her and her carrying around, you know, hey, what you want me to hold it for? Like, what? And she, her carrying that around and her not really knowing what it's for the whole time. I love what they did with her. Once we got to that really great scene of her finally, you know, escaping with the song that she was singing when she was held captive, and her really going full on Harley Quinn that we know she can be, and not just so much, you know, sex pot and I'm crazy and running around pining after the Joker. No, and that's kicking your ass. We get her kicking ass, but you know, at that point we had so much bloodshed. And I loved it, but it was really cool to, you know, see that blood, you know, turn into flowers and her to go full on commando. It was so good. And then you have her get out and you have the joke point of her, you know, oh, you guys were coming to save me. It's so beautiful. I could go back in and y'all could do it again. Like, so good. And then, so once we get to Operation Starfish and we have, you know, them walking slow motion style, all the rain coming down, fucking awesome. And you're just not knowing what's about to happen next. They had so many moments of their life, you know, hanging in the balance, and it was just like layer on top of layer on top of layer of fuckery. You have, you know, the building blowing up. You have the standoff between Rick Flag and Peacemaker. Like, we lost Rick Flag, y'all. You have that going on. You have, you know, the whole gigantic starfish, you know, slapping cacao on people's faces, and you know, that wreaking havoc. You have the army outside trying to get into the building. There is so much going on, all while, you know, we have Viola Davis. You better leave it. Just walk away. Who gives a damn? Leave them. They all can die. Did you do what I told you to do? You know, you have that going on. And then you have, you know, the standoff with the rat catcher and Idris Elba popping up like, nigga, what you doing? What's going on here? Pop, 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 pop. Bigger bullet, smaller, nigga. You know, pow. Very wanted. It was so good. And then you even, you know, add on another layer after, you know, we finally get out of the building that's sinking like a goddamn battleship, and them having to actually decide, you know, you see that arc happen. The arc with Idris Elba, Bloodsport character, and how he is, you know, from the beginning and what we get towards the end, absolutely loved it. And him making the decision, you know, just say, you know, fuck it. We're going to, you know, save these people. Like, and, you know, you have him in the beginning. We're not here to save your people. Psych, we're going to fuck up this starfish. Once we get to that point, and I was waiting because unlike the team in the first film, the team behind Viola Davis, they were just always, you know, even though we're betting, we actually, you know, are starting to care about this team. What you're doing is really, really harmful and questionable. So much to the point that, bitch, we just about to knock you the fuck out. Absolutely loved it. And they're like, yeah, whoo, now that she's gone. Oh, yeah. Y'all go to the left and the right. Up, down, pow. And you have, you know, that really great moment of Harley Quinn. I know what I meant to do. Splow, going through the starfish. So good, so epic. And we even end, you know, with even a whole nother layer with the rat catcher, you know, her saying, you know, I'm going to save you, you know, after he says, you know, I'm going to make sure you make it out of here alive. And you have all that. So I'm like, God damn, it's a lot of rats there. All the rats come, you know, eat the starfish. And you have that big moment of Idris Elba using, you know, that evidence as collateral and getting her off their necks for right now, that I'm assuming, because, you know, we're going to get a second part with P. I'm like, really? Peacemaker ass is alive after all that? Like, which he needed to go. But, you know, and that didn't make me, you know, really hate goddamn Peacemaker, John Cena's character, any less. Like, he was so interesting for so long. Like, I'm just supposed to hate him now? He's gonna make for a really, really good villain, hopefully, if we get another installment. Like, everything here came together so well in this film with such a good fucking time. Watch it. Well, you guys, that was my review for The Suicide Squad. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Did I miss some stuff? Probably did, because I watched this a little while ago and I've been meaning, to review it. But as y'all know, especially if y'all view my channel often, I have not posted in a little bit, but I wanted to give you guys something, and I really was excited to talk about this film because surprisingly, it was so much better than the first one. But please drop down and tell me what you guys thought about the film. What was your favorite part? Did you think this was any better than the first one? Or are you on the fence? I don't know. Drop down. Let's talk about it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.